Hello, and welcome to The Alt Left.
Welcome back, everybody, to episode 107 of The Alt Left. I am Chris. I'm here with Kay.
Good evening, everyone. He caught me right in the middle of a sip of tea. Jesus Christ.
That's why I did you first.
Fucker.
And now we're all going to sit in silence until Drew does something.
No, I don't think we're going to do that. Greetings, comrades.
So welcome back, everybody. Good morning, good evening. Where do you drink green tea? Do you drink it in a Chinese restaurant like Drew and I do? Or do you drink it for fun like weirdos like Kay? That's the subject of today.
There's nothing wrong with drinking green tea at home. Why do you hate on the green tea?
I don't hate on the green tea. I just don't like it. Here's the thing. I like hot green tea at like a Chinese restaurant or something like that. Like if I'm sitting down at a restaurant and they're going to serve hot green tea in those dope little cups, I'm into it. But you're never going to find me at home like, oh, what a long day. I can't wait to make some goddamn green tea. No, it's not going to happen.
It's his inherent arrogance to a British superiority.
That's very true. And I find it to be pleasant. You know, it just warms you on the inside. It feels good. It's tasty.
And just because I possess British superiority, does that mean that is the cause?
Yes.
I mean, it could be both.
Yeah. Coincidences happen every day.
That's true.
That's fine, but I don't trust coincidences.
That's also fair.
So there's been a couple shenanigans going on. Why don't you go ahead and take the ball in this Tennessee House one, Drew?
Okay. So in the Tennessee legislature, the Republicans are voting to expel 3 members of the Democratic caucus because they were disruptive during a debate on new gun laws or more importantly, the lack thereof. Thus far, there have been 2 votes. The first one, Justin Jones, was expelled. The second one, Gloria Johnson, has survived her expulsion by a single vote, which leaves Justin Pearson, who they'll be getting to him probably within the next hour or so. And it's worth noting that both Jones and Pearson are people of color, and Johnson, who is white, survived her expulsion.
I noticed they were using golf rules.
I'm shocked.
No blacks allowed.
Yeah, it's totally shocking.
You are out of order, my friend.
I can be forgiven for being white, though.
Yeah, this is just pretty
is true.
standard for us.
Yeah, Tennessee, we're good.
Yeah, and when asked about why she survived when Jones didn't, Johnson did say, I don't know, I think maybe the color of my skin had something to do with it.
Yeah. Which, kudos.
I'm glad that he called it out the way that he called it out.
She.
Pardon me, she. I'm glad that she called it out the way that she called it out, because it means something that she's recognizing it and saying it out loud, because obviously the color of her skin has something to do with it. It has to do with...
and it also helps that like they're allies against the GOP here.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, they sat there and chanted with the school kids, and so now they don't get to be part of the political process anymore. Sorry. It's absolutely ridiculous to me.
Yeah, and on Twitter, obviously, there's conservatives that are just gleeful about it. They're calling it the results of an insurrection, and what goes around comes around, and all that usual bullshit.
It's really interesting to see GOP members cheering for punishment for leading an insurrection.
Yeah, it's a little out of brand for them, but, maybe they're expanding.
Look, this is when it's conservatives, every accusation is an admission.
Oh, of course.
Pretty much, yeah.
So Jones's vote took place after 2 hours of debate, including him answering questions. He was contrite. He said, yes, I probably didn't adhere to the rules of the floor, but does that really warrant anything other than censure? And apparently the Republicans said yes. So I think this is actually a shot across the bow just to see what's going to happen. I think if they can get away with 2 out of the 3, getting them expelled, and all that's going to be left is a little bit of whining from the Democratic side, because that's all the Democrats ever do, I think they'll just start trumping up charges for the rest of them and kicking them out one by one.
I mean, especially if there's no federal guidelines for expelling members.
I mean, that would be state guidelines, not federal guidelines.
No, I'm saying there should be federal guidelines.
Oh, gotcha.
This is the problem with states having any power whatsoever.
I agree with you. What I was going to ask is, so they've expelled these members. Does
Two
that
of them,
mean
yeah.
They've
two
expelled
of
one
them.
so far.
Or one, yeah, that's right. The other one's still waiting for a vote.
Yeah,
right?
the other one is waiting. That's going to be ongoing. It may happen even while we're recording right now.
I was about to say, by the time this comes out on Monday, it'll probably be already out.
Yeah, I mean they're in the process of debating it right now.
So does that mean that like they lose their seat
Yes.
completely? Okay.
Yes,
And then
they're
the
done.
next thing is what do they do in terms of like re-electing someone else? Like, are they going to
governor-
have to hold a special election or?
No, the governor gets to nominate.
Yeah, the governor will appoint somebody to serve out the seat until the next election. And since the
Appointment.
governor, yes, and since the governor is a Republican, guess who those seats are going to go to?
Shocker. See, this is what I was getting down to. Like, not only is it a hit job against these people that stood up for something, then once it's over with, the Republicans just get to do whatever the fuck they feel like it because, that's the rules.
Well, the Republicans in the Tennessee House already have a supermajority. They can already do whatever they want anyway.
Well, of
But
course
this just
they
further solidifies their power and will turn Tennessee into an actual one-party state as opposed to a de facto state like California.
Yeah. So that's what I was kind of curious about. So Tennessee is turning into a Republican hellscape.
I mean, it already has been. I mean, remember, Tennessee's leading the charge on a lot of the anti-trans bills as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. This just means that they'll have an easier time passing all those trans bills. And the longer and more that I see these kinds of things happening, the more and more that I'm leaning to agree with you, Chris, that state governments don't need to be around. We should have just a federal government. The Senate is ridiculous. There's no need for it. And these are things that like a year and a half, 2 years ago that I was less sure about, let's say.
You boy, listen to some of the early episodes. You vehemently opposed me on those.
Well, no, and I did. And, that was based on this more idyllic vision of what our government and the political landscape really was. And this has changed greatly because it's no longer the left and the right trying to work together. It is just the left and the right, going about their business, trying to tear the other down. They have no interest.
Well, the liberals and the right.
Well, yes.
The left aren't allowed to participate in government.
Sure, but I was speaking for simplification. What I mean is they're just becoming about opposing the others. They have no real interest in actually helping anyone.
No, not at all. It's a culture war.
Yeah.
That's all they have an interest in continuing.
Yes.
This is Kid Rock shooting his fucking Bud Light because trans people are scary and he's
Oh
clinging
my
to
God.
relevance.
And
So
shooting
that's
badly,
another
I
one
might
of
add.
those big things that's happened. Is like there's all kinds of social media of everybody destroying all of their Bud Light gear and cases and cases of beer that has rainbows on it. And then they hop in their Ford.
No, not because it has rainbows on it. Bud Light was
Oh,
nice
yes,
to
but
a trans person.
Yes, they were nice to a trans person.
Yeah, as
so,
part of their rainbow capitalism, they decided, hey, trans people can exist this year. We can make money off of that. And they did make money off of it. They're making money off of their regular sales, but they're also making money off of the hate clicks that they're getting from it.
Of course they are.
There's actually a hilarious picture floating around the internet right now of Kid Rock deep-throating a Bud Light bottle next to a trans woman.
Nice.
It's fantastic.
That seems
Love
highly
it.
appropriate.
When he was younger.
The funny thing about it is it's kind of like the Nike thing, and
He's just trailer trash Kevin Sorbo.
Which is weird because he came from the suburbs from a rich family.
Yep.
in Detroit.
No, he lives about 50. Oh, he grew up like 50 miles north of Detroit. Like,
Yeah,
in
no,
a
he
nice
claims
suburb.
Detroit.
He claims Detroit. My point is like, yeah, he's not who he says he is. He is a crazy Republican.
Yeah, that's like claiming you're from Compton but being from Beverly Hills, or
Yeah.
claiming you're from fucking Houston but you're actually from Sugar Land, or anything like that. Like, no. Kid Rock came from an extremely affluent area. His parents were very rich and completely bought his way into the music industry.
Yeah, and he's just struggling for current relevance in a country that forgot about him 15 years ago.
Yeah. Kind of like Kevin Sorbo.
Right.
They should go bowling together.
I think that this is kind of going to go the same way as like the people destroying their Nikes or whatever other.
Of course it will. It's always fake garbage outrage. Oh my god, I would pay real money to watch a reality show of Kevin Sorbo and Kid Rock having to take American history courses.
No, wouldn't happen.
Only if Henry Rollins was the teacher.
Oh, that would be great.
And what's his name from Twisted Sister?
Dee Snider?
Yeah, Dee Snider's got to be there too.
That dude is fucking smart.
Yeah, I get behind that.
Dee Snider? Holy shit.
But yeah, in the realm of right-wing GOP nonsense and hypocrisy, got released today. There's a huge condemning report came out. Clarence Thomas has been receiving bribes from a right-wing billionaire, Harlan Crow, who's been taking him on vacations, flying him on his private jet. He and his wife have been hanging out on it's a 162-foot super yacht, by the way. They've been going to an exclusive California retreat. He's been hanging on his private land in Texas. Apparently, in one of the retreats that Crow has, where he has like a giant ranch where there's like golf courses, and there's actually a life-size replica of Hagrid's hut for some reason. There is a giant oil painting of Crow and Clarence Thomas sitting and smoking cigars while talking to very popular conservative heroes.
Well, what else do you do with your money than make a life-size replica of Hagrid's hut?
That's fine. That doesn't bother me at all. I do shit like that. But the point is, this guy even literally has an oil painting commissioned of bribery. It's fucking fantastic. It's amazing. So anyway, obviously Clarence Thomas is fucking laying low. But yeah, he's been in for 31 years, the longest serving justice. And my favorite thing is that he has always got. I had a quote from, I don't even know where it went, where he talks about his humble upbringings, right? Before he learned English, he learned a slave language, and he always talks about how he prefers going to Walmart parking lots and motels rather than living anything lavish or going to the beach. And it turns out he's fucking sucking down cocktails with billionaires, smoking cigars at the beach.
Yeah, that's like Warren Buffett saying that he's just a common man because he likes to have McDonald's for breakfast every day.
Yes.
Which is real. Look it up.
Yeah. No, I know. He did. I remember that. You know who else likes McDonald's for breakfast every day?
I do.
Tiny baby Hans Trump.
Yeah. When asked about this, Crow has said that Justice Thomas and Ginny never asked for any of this hospitality. We never asked about a pending or lower court case, and Justice Thomas has never discussed one. Which, I mean, obviously, that's definite. Not only is that definitely a lie, but that doesn't matter. The fact that he was accepting all of this from a billionaire is something that needed to be disclosed.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. I got the quote on here. So basically, Thomas is saying his quote was, "I prefer the RV parks. I prefer the Walmart parking lots to beaches and things like that. There's something normal to me about it. I come from regular stock, and I prefer that. I prefer being around that." That's his fucking quote. Now, AOC made a great tweet that, again, AOC's lost a lot of her credit with me, big time. Won't even support unions, so fuck her. But she made a great dig at him, where she her quote is, "This is beyond party or partisanship. This degree of corruption is shocking, almost cartoonish. Thomas must be impeached, barring some." And this is the part I really like, because this just barbs the whole court. Barring some dramatic change, this is what the Chief Justice John Roberts Court will be known for: rank corruption, erosion of democracy, and the stripping of human rights.
Yeah, I mean, someone can be wrong on other things, and you can still agree with them on this. But, yeah, yes. I mean, and this is a culmination of all of John Roberts' long and storied career, with everything up into the courts, from the time when he was helping in Florida with the Florida recount there, all the way up to his tenure as the Chief Justice. And it's going to be a stain, and I think he realizes that. He was really trying to pull back the other 5 last year when Roe v. Wade was stripped out of our laws. But I think he realized that he's essentially been put out to pasture.
Yeah, and he knows that he's gonna bear the mark of all of this. John Roberts fucking failed, and everyone knows it, and his legacy is shit at this point. Roe v. Wade really sealed it, I think, for me. That he will go down in history as on his watch the Supreme Court truly failed.
Ultimately, in history, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be remembered up there with like the Dred Scott case and things of that ilk.
Yep.
Which, I mean, he deserves to have every bit of scorn that is going to be heaped on him after he's gone.
Yep. 100%. And I actually foresee at a certain point, if I'm going to predict here, I'm going to say that Clarence Thomas is going to refuse to back down. I mean, again, remember, this guy's wife is a fucking overturned the election, Trump was framed, fucking MAGA dipshit, right? So I think he's going to try to stay firm and say, I'm not going to go. And after months and if pressure stays on him long enough, Roberts will probably convince him to retire and step down.
See, I don't think that's going to happen because Roberts is now effectively impotent. He's neutered on the court, so I think Thomas is going to feel comfortable in just ignoring him. He's going to be there until he dies. Let's see. Update on the Tennessee vote. Justin Pearson has also been expelled. So yes, the 2 people of color have been expelled, and the white legislature survived.
And it's really funny to me that they even did that. Like, it's so obvious. You really would have figured they would have just, like, at least, like they could have gotten away with 3 easier if they had, like, gotten rid of one of the white people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
Or gotten rid of both the white people and kept one person of color. It would have at least given a veneer of, see, we're not favoring white people, but it's just so blatant.
Okay, so the votes for everybody were 72 to 25 to expel Jones, 65 to 30 for Pearson, so she failed by a single vote, or the vote failed by a single one, and Pearson got 69 to 26. So
nice.
Yeah, yeah, it is very nice. So, you know, a whole lot of unity for the Republicans in expelling the people of color, and then a little bit of dissension when it came to the white lady.
See, look what we can do when we pull together. If everyone gets on the same side and we all work really hard, we can hurt a black person. In Tennessee.
Just not Clarence Thomas.
Yeah. Jones had this to say before the vote to expel him. He was the first. This is not about expelling us as individuals. This is your attempt to expel the voices of the people from the people's house. It will not be successful. Your overreaction, your flexing of false power has awakened a generation of people who will let you know that your time is up. So he was defiant till the end, and bravo to him.
Yeah, good for him.
And what I'm really curious about is, if they've been expelled, can they then run, or are they barred from running?
But there's nothing saying they're barred from running. They've just been kicked out. So they would actually, if they were elected and duly put in, they would actually have to be re-expelled.
That would be quite funny.
I mean, in all honesty, he's a shoo-in now for a re-election.
Yeah, I think they both are. They're both young. They're both energetic. They're both very progressive. I think the fundraising is going to do
their
themselves.
Constituents like that. Fundraising is going to be fucking easy, and now their names are household.
Yeah, so now the rest of the DNC is going to get involved.
I just looked it up. Yes, they can run again.
Well, good for them. I hope they do. I'm sure they will.
I hope they do too. They're going to have to wait until the next election cycle, which sucks, but because I don't know when the hell that is, but
most state legislatures have the same election cycle as the House, so like every 2 years.
Okay, fair enough.
Now, this would be usually where I hop on my soapbox and I talk about why the South is garbage. But you know what? I can't, because like nothing bad happened in Florida, right?
Oh, no. Nothing at all. It's not like Ron DeFeur's continual march into fascism has taken a few new horrifying turns.
Is he still marching into it, or is he just marching in circles already in the box?
I suppose it would be fair to say he's probably in his tank taking victory laps around the Capitol.
Yeah.
But most recently, the 2 top Florida Democrats were charged with, it was just trespassing, but they were part of a protest against the new abortion ban that is headed to the governor's desk that will ban abortions after 6 weeks. So the Democratic Party chairwoman, Nikki Fried, and the Senate Minority Leader, Lauren Brooke, were part of a group of protesters. They were protesting, the sun went down, and according to Florida's new anti-protesting laws, which were passed in response to the BLM protests of a couple of years ago, had them arrested for trespassing.
Because remember, kids, the First Amendment ends at sundown.
Well, obviously. The Bill of Rights is very, very old. It needs time to have its Metamucil and have a good night's sleep.
Well, or run for a Republican seat. But the point is that the Founding Fathers didn't have electricity, and reading at night was difficult, so clearly this is what they intended.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that sounds
obviously.
about right.
And no, that's just silly. The Founding Fathers had slaves to hold lights for them.
Candles, yeah.
Candles.
What do candles produce?
Light.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you. Moving on. You're on a roll of pedantic corrections today.
I am. I'm sorry. I apologize. I am fucking, tired.
Yeah, I've had a crazy long week too.
He's in a mood. I'm here for it. I actually kind of like it when Kay gets a little pedantic.
Spicy K. Do you like your K crispy or spicy?
A little bit of special.
Actually, you're always crispy, so this is a spicy crispy K.
I'm here for it.
Spicy, yeah, I'll take the spicy crispy K special.
Yeah.
Only on the alt left.
No? Just on the alt left?
Well, yeah, I'm not gonna let fucking KFC sell it.
Oh. All right.
Maybe we should
Fair
release an extra podcast. Alt Left Podcast After Dark.
After dark.
And give ourselves some nice, rich music and deep voices.
I already podcast naked, so what am I supposed to do in the after dark?
I thought you podcasted in a robe.
Yeah, but he's not wearing anything underneath the robe. The dirty, dirty slattern that he is.
And I'm not even wearing a robe tonight.
Well, I'm afraid regardless.
Oh, be not afraid. Of course, that was said to someone who got unwillingly Sorry, Kay, I'll have to edit that.
There's going to be a lot of editing around this area.
Unconsentingly knocked up by a deity.
Oh yeah,
Even in the New
it's
Testament,
Easter,
God is
isn't
still
it?
rapey.
Happy Easter, everybody! Go get your chocolate eggs and your peeps.
Yeah, just
And,
go get all your fertility symbols of paganism for.
Yeah, exactly.
And don't forget to sacrifice an animal or three.
It was also Passover yesterday, so we're sacrificing lambs, we're resurrecting lambs. It's a whole thing. Get your mutton on, mint jelly for everyone.
I like lamb.
I do too. Lamb's delicious.
Yeah.
Please edit this. No one wants to listen to this shit.
No, not at all.
Do we want to exchange our favorite lamb recipes now?
Cooked. That's my favorite way.
Yeah, smart. Smart.
You know what? Leave it in, listeners. This is what it sounds like when we run out of material and we're all tired. This is what Kay usually edits out. Is this level of garbage? So just next time you're like, man, I don't know, I'm kind of bored, or I don't know. I mean, the Kay talks about it. What the fuck do they actually do? Do they edit this podcast? Yes, we edit the shit out of this podcast because it's usually three fucking weirdos going on strange tangents about lambs and fucking animal blood and why Jesus and God aren't real. So like. Just so you know, this is the K appreciation section. This is what he usually protects you from.
Yep.
Yes.
This is what he has to put up with.
But unfortunately, K saw his shadow, so there's 6 more days of no editing.
All right.
Nonsense.
Like Jesus.
You know, Kay is always very prompt in his editing. What we do have a little bit of problem with is uploading on time.
Yes, Drew. Why don't you ever upload the podcast on time? We haven't dropped on a Monday on time in like 3 weeks.
Well, I just want to say that it is entirely my fault because I'm saddled with such poor staff.
That's accurate.
I love it.
So just remember when you don't get the podcast on time, Drew apologizes. You heard it here first.
And for the one time only.
Well, that's all we have today. It's going to be a short-ass episode, just because we're waiting on a lot of pending shit. Next week, we'll probably have a lot of follow-ups on this, especially on Clarence Thomas. I hope we can get some more out of that. And maybe we can find out eventually what Joe Biden's going to do about fucking anything. Because have you guys noticed he hasn't done dick about shit in quite a while?
He's been very quiet.
He's been very, very busy making America great again, okay?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, he's got George W. Bush vibes these days. Where it's like I just imagine he's hiding under a pillow fort with a sign that says "No girls allowed," and the staff keeps showing up, and he's like, "Don't make me do stuff, malarkey." Like nothing's going on. We've lost Roe v. Wade. We have a literal trans fucking genocide brewing in the oven right now. And what the fuck's the president doing? Are people getting expelled from state seats? The president of the United States isn't doing a goddamn thing.
And he's not going to, because he knows he doesn't actually have to do anything to get reelected as long as Trump.
Par for the fucking course, bro.
Yeah. Stop voting for Democrats, people. Just stop it. They don't do anything. Just stop it. A vote for a third party is not throwing your vote away. Voting for powerful people who will do nothing to protect you is throwing your vote away.
Agreed.
Exactly.
Just stop it. You're adults. Stop believing in unicorns. Stop it.
But unicorns are pretty.
And they poop rainbow sherbet.
That is not true at all. They ejaculate rainbow sherbet.
Oh, pardon me.
Poop. This is why you're not allowed in the zoo anymore. So anyway, that's it, everybody. We love you. And we will be back here next week with a far more cogent episode. Indulge our malarkey this week. We'll see you then. And until then, take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And remember that the revolution is you.